Candace, and this is my husband,
Kaylin.
and we are here with you guys with our first show.
Episode 1.
Woo! We are here. We'll give him a moment. Any more Millie Wops you need to do? Hits. Sorry. So.
Give you a moment.
So we got some topics for you guys today. So, babe, what are we going to be talking about?
The first topic is the topic of the Walter Scott, well, not the killing, but also the trial of the officer who murdered Walter Scott.
Right. So what happened with him?
Well, to give a backstory, he was pulled over for a broken tail light.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to do it in layers,
okay.
Layered perspective. So, to peel back the layers of this right here, he was pulled over for a broken tail light, which is visually wrong to do.
Right.
So he was pulled over for that. I'm not sure if he had tinted windows or not, so he could have seen if it was black or not. But stick to the known facts. It's one tail light, a broken tail light is pulled over for that. So that is wrong. In the reality of what happened, the broken tail light is a red flag to get pulled over. The officer approaches the vehicle. I think he approached the vehicle. I don't know if he did or not. But at some point during their interaction at his car, Walter Scott chose to exit the car and flee.
So he ran.
So he ran. So okay. That layer right there.
So not only did he have a broken tail light.
Yeah. He ran. I think he had some. I don't want to say he had warrants and he didn't, because I'm putting that out there in the atmosphere, and then it looks bad. So, but he ran for some reason. I'm not sure why he ran. When the officer finally did catch up with him, there was a struggle, a tussle, if you will, and I think
he thought he had his taser.
Right. He thought he had his taser.
Okay.
In that tussle, at some point, the tussle ended, and Walter Scott flees from the officer. Again, so we have two flees. We have two flees.
In a fight or a tussle with the police officer.
Two flees, a tussle, and a broken tail light.
Wrong. Okay.
But here's why I'm doing it in layers, because we have the layer of the broken tail light, we have the layer of fleeing the car, we have the layer of the physical altercation or struggle with the officer.
Right.
And then folks will see those three layers and say, okay, well, he had a broken tail light, right? He ran, and he had a struggle with the officer.
Right, so he ran.
Right, and then he ran again. So he did all these four things. That's why he shot him. That's why it's okay. And we have to separate these four things from what happened at the end. Mm-hmm. Because not only did he shoot him, he was 18 feet away. The officer is right here. Walter Scott is 18 feet away.
So even if he would have had his taser, he's still not even a threat being 18 feet away. Right.
Not running away, he isn't. Not 18 feet away.
His back was to him when he shot him.
His back was to him when he shot him. So he's running away and he gets shot. That's the backstory. Well, he gets shot and killed. So that's the backstory.
Right.
And then now here we are, and there was a trial that was going on for the officer. I think he was convicted of murder, either murder or manslaughter, one or the other, or both, possibly. And there was one lone juror who obviously got past or got through the vetting and made his way onto the stand. Well, not the stand, but into the jury box. And he was the one who said that he cannot, in good conscience, convict not Walter Scott, but convict the officer. Even though all the evidence is laid out. And the main thing is that he was 18 feet away running the opposite way. And this one lone juror said that he cannot do it. So there is now a mistrial. They're going to prosecute him again. But the fact that we're here dealing with a mistrial, when it's all on camera and you see that he was running away and he got shot.
His story doesn't even match up with what happened. The testimony that he gave or what happened doesn't even match up with what actually happened on camera. And that's what all the controversy and everything came.
Well, not testimony. It's his
what is this?
His police whatever you write up. Right. That I think in that he was saying that he had the taser. But what happened was, and it was caught on video, the officer picked the taser up by him, that was by his feet, and then walked it over to Walter Scott and dropped it by Walter Scott. So the taser was not on Walter Scott's body, or Walter Scott's person. The officer still had it by him. So he was definitely no threat, because the taser was not on Walter Scott. It was on the ground by the officer still.
Right.
So we have a mistrial, but the fact that we're here, when we're talking about body cameras, and if you see it, then there's no way that it can be denied, but it clearly can be denied by at least one person.
Right. I just really think that it's still wrong because, like you said, they have this whole thing with we're going to put body cameras on people to make everybody feel more safer, but we also have cameras out there with people. It's very hard to alter a video that's going live or anything or whatever happens. So the fact that yeah, it's not a body camera that's coming off of the police officer, but you had this innocent person on standby with their phone ready to go that witnessed the whole thing as it was happening, and they still questioned it. Like, why do you have to question something when it's right there plain in black and white on what happened?
I think it's not about questioning it. I'm not sure if, because the juror wrote the judge a letter. I'm not sure what the letter said, but I would cast my net out into the sea. I don't think that it's questioning. I think it's just strictly the fact that it's black and white.
Yeah.
So whether it's apparent that he did it or not, as a white person, I think that whiteness is right and blackness is wrong.
So even though he did all those things that was wrong, they looked at that as he was wrong.
Right, because if you
they didn't look at the fact that
up,
even though he ran and everything like that, like he still was not a threat. He's someone's son. He's someone's uncle. He's a person, and they didn't think about that stuff. That his life still matters. I think that's when some people get misunderstood when they say that all lives matter. What people don't understand is that when you go off with a with race, we just seen that they kind of hesitate when it comes to the opposite race, to where you see videos and you see people who do the same things and police officers kind of give them that chance to work with them, versus lately when it comes down, right, they kind of de-escalate. They use their training then. They use the bean bags, or they use their taser. They use talking. They use reasoning.
They use multiple officers.
Right. Let's everybody come on one person. You tackle them from behind and I'll get them from the front. They use tactics.
Yeah.
Right. They use all those different things when it comes down to the opposite race, but here it is, a black man, or recently it has been black men and a few black women, where even though they have been doing something wrong, they don't use all those tactics. They never say that. Tactics. They can't never
say tactics 5 times in a row. Taxes.
Okay, so they use these different
tactics.
He's gonna be my speaker. And they use these different, it's like when it comes down to African American people, it's like it just goes out the window and they forgot that all I need to do is shoot this person down, which isn't right. Because then it makes people scared. I was, when I was in Grand Blanc with Annie, one of my girlfriends, and we were on our way to Walmart. Now, it was late. It was probably like a good 12 o'clock at night, but she was getting ready for a 4th of July party. So we had some last minute stuff we need to get. I was helping her out with. And so we get pulled over by a police officer, and it was for speeding. And she was like terrified. When I say terrified, like she was like, don't move, don't say nothing, don't blink, look straight ahead.
Don't play.
They don't play. Like she was terrified. I'm like, what? Like, I never experienced this type of thing. So
disclaimer, I have not been what's the word? Yes, brutalized by any Grand Blanc police officers. I just had some run-ins of being put over for no reason.
Grand Blanc and Mount Morris police officers do not play.
Mount Morris is cool.
That's if they know your car. They know you. When me and you first met and I first got out there, I was getting tickets and getting pulled over like crazy. But then once
that's their job though. Keep the muck and the mire out my
now I can drive through Mount Morris doing 45 and a 30 and they look and wave. It's just If they know you, they know you.
But then isn't that, I mean, we're kind of off the subject, but if they know you and then don't pull you over, then that's kind of how it should be. Like, that's community policing, right?
Is that what white privilege is?
No, that's community privilege.
I'm joking.
That's community privilege.
It's
that's
community
saying
privilege.
that I know who you are.
Yes,
I know where you
your
live.
car. I know
so
where you live.
So you're not a threat.
We live right by the school, so people drive past our house all the time. They know us. People wave. It's cool. But in Grand Blanc, they don't know me there. So we driving, and she's like, "Put your hands 10 and 2. Don't look around. Don't reach for nothing." Like I was.
You chauffeur? Sheesh. You a chauffeur? You don't drive me. Sips tea.
It's not tea. It's water. Anyway, so we in the car and everything, and so me by myself, I always have everything ready. I reach in the glove box, get the.
Wait, did you give the shout out before you reached? Like, can I? Did you?
No,
ask?
like I was reaching for stuff before he even got to the car. Cause look, before all this stuff happened,
this is how
this stuff happened.
This is how folks get in the.
And this is how people, and this is what happens. So I'm reaching for stuff. Like trying to have my stuff together for the police officer. So when he comes to the window, I can hand him everything. And she's freaking out, tapping my hands like, "Nigga, don't touch nothing. Put your hands 10 and 2. Don't move."
Yeah, you know.
So the guy comes to the window, and he just is there a reason why you guys was speeding? I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't really paying attention." And he was really nice about it or whatever. And like that was it. But I feel like since all this stuff has happened, it has really put African American people in a scare to where normally, you know what I mean, like you reach for your stuff and have everything ready. Now you can't even move, blink, or anything without being suspect of something. And it's unfortunate.
Yeah, but I think like there's nothing. Of course, there's been a huge, not huge. Let's say there's been a consistent. Consistently, we've dealt with the instances of black, say men, but we have Sandra Bland. We have, I'm not sure of the other lady who was holding her child.
Sandra Bland clown.
Yeah, but I mean, and we have to address that because
she clowns.
Your attitude. Now we have to say this too, because it's if you can be logical about it, like if you go into Walmart and you get an attitude with the cashier, then they'll be dirty back to you as well. Mm-hmm. So that's human nature. If you get an attitude with somebody, whether it be a cop or Walmart.
I'm not saying
no. I'm saying what you're saying is correct. I'm saying that her getting an attitude is a fact, and though that does not warrant being arrested
or killed,
that still can change the atmosphere of the folks you're dealing with.
Like what happened, like how the police handled her was basically like, "I'm gonna show you to get in line." Like that's how he kind of responded to it. Like she clowned. If anybody has ever seen,
but if you based on what
if anybody's seen the video, in my opinion, from my perspective,
let's not say clown. She voiced her opinion.
Very loudly, very roughly, very forward, straight, with power.
Yeah.
She made a statement. Okay, is that better?
But then she had a reason though. I mean, if you...
But that's the thing though, because a lot of people say if you just do what the police officer asked you to do, this type of stuff wouldn't happen. That's when the layers of perspective come into play, because you see everything that he did wrong. And I believe like if he would have never did all that stuff and he would have just got his ticket for the broken tail light, or even got arrested for a broken tail light, he would still be alive. Right, but he would be in jail. You know what I mean?
Right. His case is.
And that's the same thing I believe with Sandra Bland. Like she got pulled over for an illegal lane change. And
who gets tickets for those nowadays?
Nobody.
Who gets illegal lane change ticket?
I'm sorry, she didn't clown. She made a statement. And she basically was just saying like, this is not right for you to do that. So she rose her voice and she grabbed her camera and she did all this stuff, and basically in result she ended up arrested, ended up in jail, and unfortunately ended her life. So we think she ended her life. I'm still skeptical about that though. Well, we don't got enough time for all that.
Okay, but
it's just basically like saying, like, if you do everything that you're supposed to do, there are some people's lives that would have been saved
That's true.
fighting the system. Like, we all understand that there comes at some point that there's going to be racism when you get pulled over. But it's all about how you react to it on whether or not your life will be saved.
Well, it's not all about that, though.
But I don't think you're right. It shouldn't be about that. Your life should be saved whether or not you run, whether or not you raise your voice.
I'm saying that it's mostly about that. I mean, there is a case. We're not sure. There's no visual of what happened prior to Philando Castile being killed.
Right.
But from what we're understanding or hearing from his girlfriend is that he was going for his wallet, and the officer knew he had a gun on him, a legal gun.
He told the police officer he had a gun, and that the police officer told him to reach for it, but then
reach for the wallet.
Reach for the wallet.
I think it was the wallet he said to reach for it.
Right, reach for his wallet, but then he changed his mind and said, "Put your hands up," as he was reaching. So in that quick instance, it went from all he was doing was reaching for his wallet to he didn't put his hands in the air. He was reaching for his gun.
Yeah, so if you do everything right, then it appears that more times than not you'll be okay as far as you'll be alive.
Mm-hmm.
You'll probably have some tickets and some jail fees and some attorney fees, but you'll still be alive. You'll still be alive. So it has to be said though, we have to be able to be cordial and respectful to police officers. You have to be. I mean, I'm sorry, be cordial to people in general.
People in general, right.
And then when you run into a police officer, you'll be cordial and respectful to them as well. But that does not get the right to kill you. But still, you can't be getting loud
all
and
the
cussing.
police officers are not the same either.
Right. And most of them...
We know police officers.
Right, yeah. For me, I've never been... I've been profiled, I think. I don't know for sure, but...
That was off of money, though.
Yeah. So that was money.
that was like, you got money, you don't got to pay for this.
So, but for me, I've been pulled over numerous times
and never
for speeding and for tint. And to give you a roundabout number, I've been pulled over maybe 15 times. I've only had, to this day, 4 tickets. So 15 pullovers. 4 tickets. I've only been pulled over by 1 black cop.
Even
2 black cops.
If you got pulled over even in Grand Blanc, the dude was nice and we got married.
Yeah, because we got married. You said let's go. So 15 times. Only have had 4 tickets. I've dealt with all white cops besides 2. So 13 white cops. So I haven't had any issues, but it's real out there, and I know it's real.
It seemed like I had more issue with the black cops than I do with the white cops.
Yeah, that's.
But that's either here nor there. I mean, I done had a man that was completely rude and so mean to me because I was driving around. I'm a student, full-time student, working, got all these stuff, and I had a broken windshield. Driving through Kettering, you know that strip through Kettering, and I got pulled over.